Welcome to this very special bonus edition on episode 322 of
the Filmmakers Podcast.
This is a podcast where we talk filmmaking from indie films, studio films, and everything in between, how to get them made, how to make them, and how to try not to.
Royally F them up.
In my very, very, very humble opinion. I did that very quick because this is a bonus episode. And it's a quick episode as well.
But you're on borrowed time.
We are, because I've got to edit it and get it up.
Yeah.
Because this special bonus episode is with casting director Lucy Pardee. Obviously, our episode on Tuesday was with director Charlotte Wells of Aftersun.
Could soon to be BAFTA-sun.
It really could. So film's nominated in 3 categories, 4 maybe, and certainly 1 Oscar. That is what we know. And we were absolutely delighted to get Lucy as well, the casting director of Aftersun. And we were going to do it as one big episode, but
Giles was too tired.
I was too tired to do the edit, but also, I didn't just want to tag it on at the end. I felt Lucy was amazing. She was brilliant in what she said, and I thought this should be a standalone episode.
Why not, eh?
And why not? She deserves it. She's a brilliant cast director. She's cast Rocks. We loved Rocks. Rocks is such an amazing film, directed by Sarah Gavron, and she was involved in Last Night in Soho as well.
With writing classic Christy Wilson-Cairns.
With writing classic, friend of the podcast, Christy Wilson-Cairns. And she cast Perfect 10, directed by Eva Riley, Dirty God, Catch Me Daddy, and American Honey. She's so cool. We liked her a lot.
She's an expert in street casting.
Yes, yeah. What do we chat to her about, Dom?
We got some great advice about working with actors, about what to look for in the audition process, especially for street casting, and working with directors. Yeah.
She also talks about why directors need to be open, not rigid, when it comes to casting, and what actors can do when they come into a room. What do they bring, whether it's in the room or on Zoom, and how to get known by casting directors. So this is a good one for filmmakers wanting to work with casting directors and also actors out there.
Funnily enough, there's a good story actually. I'm not going to say who, but one of my friends looks very much like this actor who basically had their poster put across thousands of different headshots put with a link and a QR code across London, and it worked. It took 3 waves of posting these things out. And I'm not saying you should do this. You probably shouldn't do this, but sometimes thinking outside the box can get you represented.
Wait. So an actor.
Yeah.
But a headshot of themselves, sort of a poster headshot type thing.
With a QR code.
With a QR code all around.
Saying like who is this guy?
Really?
Yeah, literally around 3 times. They even sort of got him. They even warned him against spamming sort of his likeness around, and
and it worked.
And then he eventually got represented. So,
wow.
Sometimes those cheeky moves work. I think really at the end of the day, it's not whether you should do that. You shouldn't necessarily do that. It's about the sort of the inner belief. And sort of thinking outside the box and just going for it.
Yes, and there's that fine line, I think, between hassling
definitely.
casting director or filmmakers
and never do that.
But also what you're going to say to them in a letter or in an email, why they're interested in you. You know, I always suggest this. Generally, if anyone's writing to me, to you, Dom, to anyone out there that you want to work with in any way, shape or form, always look up their work, watch the stuff that they've made, and then write that in the first line. And with someone like Lucy, if you're getting in touch with her or any other casting directors, literally say, I've just watched Aftersun. I loved it. I loved the casting of that film. I would love to be seen by you at some point. No worries if not. Just wanted to say that.
I would like to apply to your auditions like Aftersun is applied to a burnt British tourist skin.
If all of you write that, you should be like, hang on. You're just copying Dom's word on the Filmmakers Podcast.
I hope someone writes that.
I do now. I hope someone does too. It's amazing. I've worked with quite a few casting directors and I've loved it. I really love the experience. I love what they bring that is thinking outside the box to what you think could be cast in a certain role. And I really embraced that connection. I'm working with Kate Plantin on The Stranger in Our Bed. She was just so amazing. just literally
planting seeds everywhere.
Absolutely, she was, and she'd picking up the phone at all times, making sure I was happy, making sure getting the right actors. I'm currently working with Sophie Holland, casting director, and Rob Kelly. Both of them fantastic. Both bring different things to the table, and I think you've got to come with some ideas, but you've also got to be massively open about what someone else can bring to you as well. But I think casting directors are amazing. I really do think they should get more recognition for what they do.
It can be make or break as well, like with series. Like, I find like a lot of the series that just don't quite work, they're just not cast right, and you feel like you're watching placeholders rather than like very interesting, completely unique individuals that sort of fit in. I was watching Slow Horses recently. I just smashed through it. It was so good, and it's just so well cast. Like, everyone's just such an individual, well thought out, character. Even the sort of new characters that come in, everyone's got a real personality, and that a lot of that is casting directors who create those wonders. So give that a watch. Yeah, give that a watch. But definitely give Aftersun a watch. It is an really incredible movie. It really does make you think. Getting that cast right was so important. Frankie Corio as the lead girl is amazing. Shout outs to some of the other cast as well: Sally Mesham, Celia Ralston Hall, Spike Fern, Harry Pedios, Ruby Thompson, Kaylee Coleman, and of course Paul Mescal. Of course. So there is various ways you can go about casting. Obviously casting directors, they cost money, and if you're making an indie film, look, some of them will come and help you out, but it is sometimes that extra cost, and often indie films bypass that. And of course you can put things out on Spotlight yourself, you can cast this yourself, you can reach out to agents yourself. What a casting director does is give you that extra weight, that extra protection, and that extra thought process. I think it's credibility as well. Hugely. I mean, even if you have a big producer on board, I mean, you're, especially in the indie film these days, like, you're always uphill struggle against the sort of the big streamers and the big companies, basically. Indie films are becoming harder and harder to make, and actors are in high demand, especially. So anything you can get in your arsenal to help you get that credibility with those agents is very useful. And it's almost like another language, the sort of back and forth with agents. I mean, it's not always completely clear when you're having those conversations, like where things really are, but those casting directors are just so on the ball with exactly what is the underlying politics and business side of the casting business, which is so vital in actually getting those attachments. I absolutely agree with that. Some of the best films you'll have seen in your life, your favourite films, there was a casting director behind them. Have been cast. Yep, and they've really thought about who could be right for these roles. This is their job. They spend all their time doing this. So if you can get a casting director on board, if you can afford to do that, really think about what they've cast before. Is it similar to your films? It doesn't necessarily have to be, but think about it. It's important. It's important you get the right person. Right. There we go. Let's get to it, shall we? This is quite frankly delightful. Lucy Pardee. Enjoy. Hi, Lucy. Hey, Lucy. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right, thanks. I've got my head in a few projects, but it's very nice to be talking all things Aftersun. Yes.
I know we've got a fairly short amount of time, but there is some fascinating stuff we'd love to hear about this. I mean, the casting for this is spectacular. I mean, the lead is really something amazing. How do you even think about doing street casting and looking to see that kind of potential performance, especially in a child actor as well? How do we start there?
Well, I mean, this was such an unusual one because it was street casting when no one was allowed on the street.
Streetless casting.
Yeah, so you're wandering around and there's no one there.
And no one's there, and we couldn't go into any schools, and we couldn't go into any youth clubs, we couldn't go into any sports clubs. So when we started, even though all the schools, I think people were starting to be back at school, it was out of the question that we were going to be able to go and run any sessions. And so I remember saying to Charlie and to Adela, like, if in 2 weeks or 3 weeks this isn't working, then we're going to have to pull the plug on it and think of something else and a different approach. But actually, we kind of got into this incredible like groove of a combination of contacting in real life organizations, but then just having this flyer that was shared so many times in so many different ways. We really accessed the powerful mum WhatsApp group universe, which did a lot of the heavy lifting. Basically, if you want anything done in the world, then you have to access the almighty force of Facebook
WhatsApp
groups
mums and Facebook groups.
Yeah. And we ended up having 800 nearly submissions. Wow. And all we asked was for a little bit of information and a photograph. And then we asked every single person who'd got in touch with us to send a little video. Obviously, the children were not getting in touch with us. Their parents will care as well. But, to send a little video talking about a memory of a good summer holiday that they'd had.
And what do you look for within that? What is it that makes someone stand out or not? What is it that you go, we want to bring them in, or we want them to do another tape?
I mean, it really varies, but vitality is always something that, you know, cameras kill us off as human beings. You know, they can shrink us and flatten us, and anyone who can kind of withstand the gaze, even if it's just the gaze of a camera that someone's mum is holding and aiming at them, then that tells us something. So some people we brought back and their tape, as it were, was like 30 seconds long. And they kind of jumped into the shot, but it was something about sometimes it's the way someone moves, sometimes it's the way that they structure their sentences, sometimes it's and then we brought 70 people back for individual Zooms, which me and a wonderful casting associate called Alison Piper, who is Scottish and based in Scotland, who works in production up there, but actually hadn't worked formally for casting before. She's a second AD ordinarily. Oh. She had worked a lot in crowd casting and up for the challenge. She and I did 70 Zooms, which we operated like show and tell. Because again, I'm talking so much, I'm so sorry, but
this is what this is for. This is a podcast. This is what we do.
One place you're allowed to talk, it's this.
But we were really aware of the fact that, you know, we were meeting all of these young people who had new relationships with Zoom through schooling. And what we didn't want to do was have it feel at all like school, like a homeschooling situation. So it's like, how do we bust out of the frame, as it were? Like, how do we encourage vitality? How do we encourage children to be informal? Children are excellent at being informal if you give them the chance.
They pride themselves on it.
They pride themselves on it. They could teach us a thing or two. So we played games, and we asked them to bring items to show us and talk to us about, and we chatted to them. And then from that, we whittled it down again, and we gave people what we called weekend challenges. So
nice.
We gave them things to do, like do an activity and film it for 10 minutes, get your parent or carer to film you. So Frankie climbed a tree and splashed in puddles with her little brother. And
nice. And she did it excellently.
Yeah, she must have done.
She did it fantastically.
Are you also looking at how they are in terms of, because a director isn't necessarily a parent. They haven't necessarily got children skills. I know there's obviously people on set to help with that stuff, but are you also looking, okay, is this person going to fit in a film set well? You know, is it just not even a consideration? You're just going for it.
Shaking your head.
I mean, I'm the school of thought where if you would like to get, you know, we're talking about naturalism here. So if you want to get natural,
you have to get it as it is.
In children, expecting them to hit marks and fit within the kind of adult rigors of filming and be rigid because it contains them. There has to be some flexibility in terms of how we as adults work with them. There needs to be a meeting of ways, because I think the wrong turn you can often take with casting children, because, you know, even if they're really experienced, they're still children, is trying to
trying to expect them to be more grown up than they are.
Yeah.
Yes, because you've had some huge success talking, about finding people and finding them on, American Honey, finding these amazing actors, Rocks that you cast as well. Sarah Gavron has been on the pod and we love Rocks, huge fans. Perfect 10, another example of you finding these brilliant youngsters, maybe who've done a bit of experience, but not much. That's a huge skill, and it's amazing you've been BAFTA nominated, and it's about time, and it's amazing casting directors are getting the recognition, because it's not easy at all what you do. What do you think is as you mentioned there, what you're trying to find in these actors, but let's say you get to the next stage, these young actors, what is it you're asking them to do? What is it, the nuances that you kind of pull out of one, or you see straight away that really works?
Well, with Frankie, so we eventually had to meet people in person, and it was in February. It was actually almost 2 years ago, like to this week or something crazy.
Right.
And we rented this giant wedding venue in central Glasgow because it was the height of second lockdown, and we needed lots of air, because it was during that part of COVID when it was like, we need lots and lots of air. So in this giant room with these children, and again, it was like, God, this is such a big ask, taking people from lockdown and trying to get them to come and do a casting which none of them have ever done before. So again, we just asked around for the first part of it.
Right.
Then we did get them to do some improvisations, and what I'm always looking for is kind of what is their range. So we usually start with improvisations. And Frankie showed incredible range almost instantly. We kind of did these two things back to back, where I was cast in the role of bossy mum, naturally incredibly adept at that, and had an argument with her. We did this with the 15 other young girls as well, and then and then we had to kind of pivot to a different emotional mood, and she had to be sad and regretful, and she was properly sad to the extent that I think she cried. And I had given her the note of, it can be helpful to think about something sad, and then afterwards we were all like, she was genuinely upset. So as I walked out with her, I said, what were you thinking about that was so sad? And she was like, my guinea pig is dying. And that was the thing that she thought about. And then we brought her back in the next day because we had to squeeze our casting process down. Ordinarily, you'd have more time, but we were only there for a few days. She came back the next day and she went, my guinea pig died, but my mum bought me a chippy supper, so I'm fine.
With gravy, I hope.
She was fine.
A chippy supper.
A chippy supper, and she was fine. But we tried her out on, and with another tiny, again, selection of people, we tried them out on lines then.
And what about working with directors then? Because, a lot of directors want to find amazing casting directors like yourself, and they struggle to, when they're trying to start out, they're trying to make indie films or whatever. But what is it you like about the approach and why you'd work on certain films, and how directors should work with a casting director? It doesn't have to be your experience, but what you feel that works.
I mean, I've been really lucky with the directors that I've worked with because it's always collaborative. Charlie watched every single submission. She watched every single tape. We discussed every foot forward. We were on this journey together. We were the casting team and Alderson. It was the three of us.
Nice.
It was like that level of collaboration is the dream, because actually casting is a journey. It should be a journey. It should be something that you're open to surprises and discoveries. It's not about kind of confirming. It's not always about confirming what you think you're looking for, actually. And that's not just about making discoveries. That's working with actors as well. It's it feels like a gestational period for the project when it's going well.
Yes. Well, I suppose then what's a mistake that directors can do? You say you've been really lucky, but maybe you've heard stories when directors do something wrong, perhaps, or something that you'd rather wish they didn't, or just some advice on that side of it. What works for you?
I think being too rigid is really a mistake that you can make just creatively. It should be about discovery. It should be about finding things. You can't always rather find the thing, particularly as a writer director, that has been walking around your head for however many years that you've been developing and sitting and agonizing and growing this project. And so, I tend to be quite optimistic. You have to be, particularly with in the world of making discoveries, you have to be we're going to find the person. Is the person going to be exactly what you imagined? Always? Not necessarily, but we're going to find the right person, and they're going to be able to tell the story in an interesting way, and we'll be able to grow a whole cast around them, or we'll find the people. Being too rigid, boundaries are helpful creatively, but you can get stuck in a box, I think.
Yes, agreed. And the same with actors then, when they come into a room with you, let's say, obviously on a Zoom or a video audition, it's very different. But when they come into a room, what's some of the things that you wish they didn't do, or some tips that work would be really nice as well for the actors listening?
I know actors are in a really difficult place at the moment because they're not getting in the rooms.
They're getting in the Zooms, maybe, but not the rooms.
They're maybe getting Zoom rooms, but lots of people are having to engage with the process through self-tapes, and it's such a different experience to actually being on a film set, working with a director, being given notes. I see all the time that a note you can give can absolutely turn someone's performance around. But it's also helpful for me, because sometimes what I think I'm looking for, you then see it and you're like, maybe it's not quite that. And so there has to be that back and forth. So not being, I suppose my advice to actors is the whole point of coming in the room and working with someone, if a casting director asks you to do something again, it doesn't mean that you've made a mistake. I think that's particularly for people who don't have a lot of experience in the room, because actually that's part of it. That's part of it. I also feel sometimes that actors feel like they need to be impressive, and actually I'm impressed that they are brave enough to do the job that they do, and that they're brave enough to show up and meet me. And so people can chill out, particularly if they're coming in and meeting me. I'm already impressed. Nothing has to be done to impress me.
Is there any way to get on your radar if you're an actor or a filmmaker? I mean, it's such a difficult thing to look at. But I mean, say you haven't got into the audition yet, and you're thinking, okay, I want to get known by more casting directors. Sometimes, as a director, I like to see short films of people, because then it's more of okay, here's something that you can watch it's not direct, but it's sort of indirect. Is there any sort of advice on that front?
Try and find things that you find interesting and are good from your own experience of them. I think that there's this energy in the industry which I can fully understand, of people needing to keep momentum and build themselves, and it's kind of hustle feeling. But actually, we do work in a creative industry, and finding the communities that you can belong to, the creative communities. Actors are not actually in competition with each other. It's so, as somebody who kind of works as a small team, and I don't get to work with my casting director peers, but actors get to work with their peers all the time. And so growing community is a really important thing, because I think you find out about opportunities if you're not an island, but also you don't feel alone, because I can imagine that it is, I'm hearing that some people are having to do, 7 self-tapes a week, and that's a lot. And I think that it's great to be able to share some of that with other people. Whether or not that's going to put people in front of casting directors is another thing, but I think you'll have a really good time.
That's great advice anyway.
That's really important.
It is really important, because it's your mental well-being, and I think that some people do have this sort of scarcity mindset, like there's not enough jobs for any number of positions, but you could be 2 directors, you could be 2 actors going for the same role, and one person might get it on this project, the other one might get it on the next one, and you could both be good for it, but in that case it's different. So you always got to be open that there might be someone else on this one and someone else on the next one, and I think that's really useful advice.
I'm quite fatalistic about all of it. I always feel like the right thing is going to happen, and the way that I work is quite research based. So I'll find the actors who I'll do the same kind of approach that I'll do for first time actors. For actors, I'll research and look and find and watch, and so if you're right for a project that I'm casting, I'll find you.
I love it. I love it.
There we go.
Lucy Pardee, thank you so much for chatting to us.
Yeah, thank you, Lucy.
You were incredible, by the way. This was a great chat. Very, very well done. Thank you. You've done so well with Aftersun. The cast, the younger cast as well, especially, just so good. All of them unbelievable, and you fully deserve the awards coming your way, or certainly the nominations at the moment, and hopefully more. So congratulations.
Thanks so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice to talk to you.
Pleasure to talk to you.
Yeah,
all the
really
best to you. Have a great night.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
There we have it. Wow. What a lovely chat that was with Lucy. She was incredible. Delightful woman and cast incredibly well.
I was just thinking how Alan Partridge you sounded. You said, lovely lady, wonderful woman.
Absolutely lovely lady.
That's
wonderful woman.
Exactly.
It's really nice to have casting directors on this podcast. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you took something from it.
Putting the cast into podcast.
Nice. Well, so thank you so much for listening to this special bonus episode. Aftersun is out. Now, go watch it. Go support Charlotte Wells. And if you haven't listened to Charlotte's episode, it's out on the podcast link just before this one, the director of Aftersun. Go listen to that as well. You can go out there and make your films. You can go out there and get a casting director on. You can do it. Believe in yourself. And if you're lucky enough to rise up and do well,
it is your duty to send the elevator back down.
We will see you next Tuesday when we have on the director, Todd Field, of the fantastic new movie, Tar. Yes, he did finally join us. He is with us on Tuesday. You're going to love this episode.
Completely irrelevant information. No one who's listening is going to have any clue about the trials and tribulations of organising these podcast episodes that we have.
No, absolutely.
It's a full-time job,
It really is.
Trying to plan these, give up our time,
record it, edit it, get it out there for you lovely people. So if you do listen to this, you do care. Look, go on our Twitter @FilmmakersPod. Go on our Instagram, the Filmmakers Podcast, and write something nice. Why not? Help us out, support, and be very generous and go and give us a 5-star review on iTunes. Help us get up the charts. Help more people find out about this podcast by telling people about it. There you go.
Yeah, you go and edit the podcast. I'm gonna enjoy a nice evening of relaxing television.
Well, good for you. Good for you.
Exactly.
Till next time, ladies and gentlemen, boys and germs, take care. Goodbye. It's almost like Bungle now. Goodbye. That's me signing off for the show. Bye.
Dan.
Dom.
There we go.
Dom.
I'm going.
Dom. Dom.
What, Giles?
Oh, you're still there. I'm hanging up now.
No, you hang up.
Hold the line, please, caller. Okay, bye.